What is going on, traders? Thank you for tuning in. In this video, we're going to talk about an indicator, well, I should say a series of indicators or a toolkit that I've been working on for many months with flux charts. This is a custom indicator package that I've created so it could simplify trading for the novice all the way up to the expert trader. I know if I've had this when I started trading, I would not be in the position I am now. I'd probably be way further ahead of my trading journey. I'm not just saying that, guys, because I created it. We're putting our seal of approval on this product, so I believe it is the best one out there. Now, I'm going to get into details about this toolkit on this video, but I'm not going to go into a lot of granular stuff. I'm just going to give you a bird's eye view on how this indicator has changed my trading in just the 1 week that I've been using it. As some of you may know, I trade daily live on YouTube. A lot of people have seen that I've been struggling in the month of August, had a very bad month. I think a lot of traders have. But since I started using this toolkit on Friday I was up $8,000. On Monday, I think I did 3,500. Tuesday, I think I did about 3K. I think Wednesday was a tough day. I think we did about 1,500. And yesterday, we took it very light because it was a very low volume day. So we did about almost $700 on one of our evals. So overall, I think this is a game changer for my trading, and I hope it's the same for other people out there, because if this indicator package can change lives, well, I think I've done a good job, right? I think that's what the whole point of this is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at what this indicator actually does. So first of all, you're going to see a couple things on here. I just want to bring it to your attention, guys. This is not just one indicator. This is a series of indicators, as we mentioned earlier. So if I just take off the one indicator, you can see that everything comes on, everything comes off. All right, there's a lot of things on here which I won't get into all of the weeds here. I will cover it very briefly, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how efficient it is and how well it works on everything, not just futures. We're going to talk about futures, stocks, forex, gold, everything, guys, everything, even everything. All right, so let's go ahead. Friday's price action, we're going to use the last day. We're not going to cherry pick. We're just going to use the most recent day. No cherry picking here. I'm not going to go back to December 30th of last year or anything like that. I'm going to go to just the most recent day. All right, we've got the 930 open right here. Okay, we had a green wave, which means this is going to be a positive uptrend, right? We're not going to look for shorts here. On the open, you know that can change very quickly. So on the open, I don't suggest many people take any trades anyway. If you do, that's on you. You may want to go into a smaller time frame. But as you can see on the open, we had a power short. The PS stands for power short indication right here. That move did give you a good move, sizable move down. Now, personally, I would not recommend taking anything around 9:30, but somewhere around 9:45 to 10 o'clock, I do think that it's a good idea to start looking for trades. So as you can see right here at 9:40, we started getting a triple power long indication. Now, what did this power long indication give us? Well, it gave us a very good move to the upside before we faced any turbulence, about 30 points. But ultimately, that power long gave you, I think it was about an 80-point run up, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 100 points. 100 points to the upside if you would have held it. Now, that's the thing, if you would have held it. So another thing that we did with this indicator package is that we color-coded our candles. That way, it feels less, I guess the word I'm looking for is it's less nerve-wracking, because when you see a green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle, it kind of messes with your psychology. But I color-coded the candles as well. So in this indicator, you don't just have one indicator giving you a good trend, but it's also giving you a secondary indicator within the candles that measures the heat of the market. So for instance, we had this power long, triple power long, which is very strong. We've got the initial move up to the daily open in the VWAP. We chopped in here for a little bit, but as you can see in this area, we got another power long signal. So it gave you reassurance that there's a good chance this thing will continue higher. So we did. We continued higher, and as you can see, the candles went from red, gray, to now green or blue, right? We got the pump signal here, which means the tide is turning. We're going from a dump market to a pump market. And then we get the blue wave that kicks in. So that gives you another indication to stay in the trade. So you've got green candles basically all day. We're still in the blue wave. We got a little bit of a pullback here with what? Another power long signal. Now, as long as you have the green wave, power long signals are very strong. I wouldn't recommend going power long against resistance, but power long at support is a very, very nice trade. Now, how do we know this is going to be support? Number one, we have the green wave, so it is still an uptrend. Number two, if you look to the left, we had this consolidation plus we had this pump signal. Now, what I've noticed with this indicator package is that whenever we get a pump signal, price tends, or a dump signal, price tends to retrace back into that area and find support. So we had the pump signal in this area. We got the news candle at 10 a.m., came back into that, bounced off immediately. So we know that was strong support. And what happened again? We tested it one more time, found our power long, and off to the races we go. We had our power long there. We consolidated here. Wouldn't suggest taking a power long there. That's why I'm not highlighting it, because you're up against resistance. Another thing this indicator package does is it marks out your custom IBs, your initial balances, whether it's 15 minutes, 1 hour. I have both on here, as you can see. It does it automatically for you. We cracked through that level and we kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going. Now, the power short signals, you can either A, choose to ignore these, or there's a setting on our indicator package that allows you to take off any counter trend signals when you're not in the trend. Now, I choose to keep them on because I know when to pay attention to them and when not to pay attention to them. So I leave it on, but you can turn it off to not get any mixed signals. Next, we're going to go on to later in the day. As you can see here, we had another little power long after the pullback. We got a good maybe 10 points off of this. Yeah, just a 10 pointer, not bad. Could make some money there. And then we start getting into this choppy zone later on in the day, which I don't recommend many traders trade the lunchtime hour, or maybe if the volume gets really low. But if you must, I'm going to show you how it worked out. We started getting a little bit of a choppy signal here. You see that we had a little bit of a red wave. We got a KCS, which stands for Killer Crossover Short, which means that it's basically the first absorption candle after the trend has changed. Then you got a power short signal. This little move here gave you to the move down on this one 14 points. If you would have held it a little longer to over here, it would have given you about 20 points. So not a bad trade. But remember, we've had a massive uptrend, so you don't want to stay in your shorts too long. Because why? Because we're in an uptrend, right? You want to kind of just use those as scalps, and you want to look for more likely another continuation to the upside, especially on all-time high days. This was a new all-time high day. So what do we see? We see that pullback, and then what? We get another power long right here. This power long would have given you another 18 points. Now, the beauty of the indicator package is that the signals don't wait for the candle to close. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't wait for the candle to close, because that signal could go away. It could start showing you a power short signal. You can get an influx of volume and it can go the other way. So I would recommend still waiting for the candle to close. But if you must get a head start, if you feel very adamant about the level and you see something developing such as a power short or power long and you must take the trade, then you don't have to wait for the candle to close. It will indicate it before it closes. I know a lot of other indicators are lagging. This one is not, but use that to your discretion, okay? Get another pullback here. We're still in an uptrend. Obviously, we're thinking about an uptrend. Whether we stay in the long from this entry, our stop loss down here, down here, probably would have barely made it, or maybe you got stopped out. But there was another opportunity for a power long right here. We got another PL. This one would have given you slightly a bit more to the upside. We would have gotten about 35 points on that one. And as you can see, another power long here. This one, if you took that one, I don't recommend going against resistance, but you would have got 10 points on that. And as you can see, they're all over the place. The Nasdaq is littered with great entries on power longs on Friday. Then when the tide turned later on in the day, we got 330, 320. We started crossing over. We got the dump signal here. We got the crossover here. We got a killer crossover short, and we got a PS, which stands for power short. And then that move there gave us about roughly 42 points. As you can see, then we had the close, and it gets all crazy. So ignore those. Now, I also mentioned to you, maybe not everybody trades the NQ, because this is the NQ. I'm going to go show you the ES really quick. I'm going to go through a couple different ones. ES opened up at 9:30. Here around 10 o'clock, we got a KCL, which is a killer crossover long. This does not mean enter the long there. It just means start looking for a long, because we have buyers that are defending this level and absorbing sell pressure. So what do we get right afterwards? You get a power long. This power long ended up giving you 4 points on the ES, not bad. Then we started heading down with a green wave, so I still wouldn't be shorting this because we still got an uptrend. We got a pump signal here, which means that, hey, we're back in an uptrend on the candles and we have an uptrend on the wave. Come across here to the right, we got a PL, which stands for power long. From there, we got 6 points on the ES. Later on, around 11 a.m., we start getting a dump signal here, and we start seeing the crossover. We get a killer crossover short, which means start looking for a short entry. We get a power short entry right there. This move then gave us roughly about 7 points to the downside. Move on, pump signal, green wave, KSL, which tells us to start looking for longs. And what do we get? We get price pulling back into what? It gets pulled back into that pump zone. When we pull back into that pump zone, we find support, and that move gave us roughly about 6 points to the upside. We also see another power long signal here. If you would have taken these power long signals, would have stopped down in this area, that would have been all right as well. You get more power long signals around here with your stop down here. You would have gotten about 5 points more or less on that move. And that move just kept going. Oh, that was more than 5 points. I apologize. That was way more than 5 points. If you would have held it, why would you have held it? You would have risked 2 points, and you could have possibly made 11 on this move. Why would you have held it? Because the candles are green. The wave is green. No need to get out of that position. Then we get the red wave, and then we start getting the dump signal right here. This is dump, red wave. What do we get? Killer crossover short, power short right there. This move then gave you 12 points, 13 points to the downside, and then we get the end of the day, which gets all messy and crazy. We don't really want to deal with that as much, but there you go. YM, what's up if you're a YM trader? We get chop, 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 chop. Then we get the power short signal, dump signal. We get the red wave, and then here right now we see killer crossover short. We see power short. Look at that. Look at this move. This move gave us 106 points on the YM, and that's all you would have needed. You don't want to trade this chop, but if you do, maybe you find another little short opportunity right there. Why? Because we're in a downtrend. We look for shorts on pullbacks. Pullback, dump, short. And then at the end of the day, we get what? We get some more. Killer crossover, power short, we get another move. And it just keeps going, guys. Now let's go ahead and take gold, because I know some of you like trading gold. And we'll get into all of the details about all of the other indicators on this package later in different videos, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I just want to give you these examples. All right, gold, same thing. On Friday, we have 8:30 a.m. Gold is in a downtrend. And what happens? We start getting some power long signals here, power long signals. Then we cross over. We start getting the green wave, and we start getting the pump signal on the candles. We get a killer crossover long, and we get a power long at the same time. This move ends up giving you all of this, about 11 points on gold. Very nice. Then what happens? We get a red wave. We end up getting red dump signal here. We get killer crossover short. We get the power short. And then what happens? We get another 8 points to the downside. Moving sideways, we start getting power long, power long, power long here at 3 power longs in a row. And then we start moving into that green zone. We get another power long signal there. If you would have waited for the green wave to turn, you would have got yourself another 5 points on gold. And as the day gets choppy, you want to stay away from it. As you can see, it's just not, you don't always want to be in trades, right? Now, if you're an oil trader, this is where it gets a little bit in the weeds, right? If you're an oil trader, some assets don't move as clean as others. Some have less volume. Now in oil, I have it on the 5 minute, because on the 1 minute, it gets a little bit in the weeds. You can do 1 minute if you want, but I suggest on some assets, you may want to zoom out just a little bit. So we're coming down around 2 a.m. on Friday on oil. We see that we start crossing over from the red wave to the green wave. We get a pump signal. Then right here, we get the power long on oil. And oil tends to run too, so keep that in mind. Right now, we get into that trade. It gives you about 1.6 on that move right there. Chop, 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 chop for a little bit. Get a red wave going, power short. We get a dump. If you take this trade from here, then this one gave you about 1 point to the downside. What about Bitcoin? I'm glad you asked. With Bitcoin, same thing. 5 minute chart. We see on around 8 a.m. on Friday, we going from a red wave to a green wave, and we're getting what? We're getting a pump signal. We're getting the green wave. We're getting a power long, power long, power long. 3 power longs in a row. And then we get this move on Bitcoin on Friday, which gave you about 1,800 points to the upside. Come on, guys. Come on. All right. What if you're a stock trader? What if you're trading stock? All right. Let's look at Tesla on Friday. Tesla right around the open, shot out like a bat out of hell. We got a absorption candle followed by power long, power long. If you went long there, you would have had a very nice run up. Let's just say you want to be a little more conservative, give the market a chance to to open and do its thing, wait 15 minutes. So you got this little slight pullback, another power long signal, gave you another run up. And so far, that would have this would have given you 20 points on Tesla, right? It's crazy. All right, we go $20, I guess you would call it, right? Power long, power long, power long, power long, green wave, green candles, right? Why would you get out of this trade? It's green, it's green, it's green. You stay in this trade until you start seeing this consolidation. You start seeing this pinching off of the wave. Then maybe you choose to get out of it. All right, as you can see, the day ended up, pretty choppy after that. So remember, the market likes to have expansion and then consolidation. So that's exactly what we saw here. So that is pretty much the overview of the indicator. It does have many features. Let me just go bird's eye view real quick down the line, what it does offer you guys. Number one, obviously we've got those amazing buy and sell signals that are not laggy. They are not all over the place. Obviously you can turn off the ones that don't go in the trend. I choose to keep them on. You've got, those are the best. Those guys, I've seen a lot of buy and sell and a lot of long and short signals out there, and they are not very good. Okay. I've worked on this for many years, getting the right type of signals to go long or short. Now I have it automated, because when you don't have it automated, a lot of times you miss them. So I made this for myself and to improve other traders as well, but mostly for myself, because this does say, hey, look at me. I'm a good trade. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to trade your bias. What I've learned is that when I see the signals on the chart and I don't believe that they're going to work out, and I try to say, you know what, I'm not going to believe the signal. It doesn't look good. I'm going to go with my own bias. I end up getting wrecked, and I look at the chart and I want to smack myself because I didn't listen to what the chart was telling me. A lot of traders say, look at the chart, do what the chart's telling you, not what your bias is telling you. And that's why one of the reasons why we created this. So we have perfect entry signals, really nice. I think they're amazing. We also have order flow simplified. What do I mean by that? You see all of this down here. This is the best CVD, cumulative volume delta indicator on TradingView. By far, there is nothing better than this for delta. Now, why is it so good? First of all, because it's separated by the hour, because the volume is not the same throughout the entire day. We separate it by hour to give you kind of more a apples to apples comparison of what the volume and the delta is doing. Number two, it also gives you these yellow and these purple candles, which means that the yellow means that buyers are absorbing sellers, purple means sellers are absorbing buyers. A lot of times this gives you an indication where there's some strong limit levels for buyers and sellers where they might be holding that price. It gives you a great insight. Once you start learning how to use it, you won't be able to trade without it. So it's already there for you. You don't have to worry about it. It's simplified order flow. All right. Number three, you'll never trade against the trend again. That was one of my biggest Achilles heels, is that I always traded against the trend. Now, we have the wave telling you the trend, and then we have the candles telling you the trend. So why would we be shorting this area? Why? Because of our ego? Because what we think is going to happen? That's what gets us in trouble. So we don't have one but two directional indicators in here, okay? Next, you want to also look at the fact that we have our daily levels marked out automatically for us. As you can see here, we have the daily open, we have the previous day's high or low, we have previous week's high or low. We have so many different levels that are automatically on the screen for you. You don't have to worry about ever having to spend time in the pre-market marking your highs, your lows. You even have the average daily ranges. You have so much already done for you. Okay. Additionally, I said to you that you also will have the initial balance highs, initial balance lows, all of these levels that you would want to pay attention to. They're already there. And some people might say, well, I don't think those levels mean anything. Okay, if you don't, here's confirmation on the Nasdaq that price found support on this 1 hour IB high. And then bounced and went, right? So guys, it's another level. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. Customize it to 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, whatever you want. It's there for you. You can have multiple ones and use it as you would feel necessary. Now, the other thing too is that we have the VWAP, right? Obviously the VWAP you can get anywhere, but you don't just get the VWAP, which you see right here, this purple line. You also get standard deviations away from the VWAP, which is this purple this purple cloud that you see above us. You can make it any color you want. But what this tells you is how far away you are from the VWAP. The further away you are from the VWAP, the likelier it is for price to retrace because it's either overbought or oversold. So it does help you kind of understand where you are in relationship to what? To the mean, because price tends to revert back to the mean sooner or later. So it's a good thing to just have on the screen so you can see where you are in comparison to where the middle of the price action is. Now you can set this to be daily. You can set it to be on the beginning of the week. You can set it to be anywhere. I choose to have it on a daily session. So that's something that I think is invaluable for most traders. The other thing that you want to keep in mind here is that you're going to have days when you shouldn't be trading, or times of the day when you shouldn't be trading. So what we've included here is this right here in the top right corner that says ATR. ATR means average true range. The average true range tells you what the average size of the candle is. Now, the bigger the ATR, it means the more volume you have. In a good voluminous market, you can make some good money because price tends to move. Price tends to run. But on days when the ATR is very, very low, price tends to chop and price tends to have no certain direction. So we included this because some people need to know when to stay out of markets and when to be in the markets. Additionally, it also gives you a great idea on how big your stop loss should be, because there's a theory that says that your stop loss should be either 1 to 2 ATRs, 1 to 2 times the size of the average true range. Now, a lot of people do use that. I've made videos on it, and it is something that you can use as a standard, or if you think you're better off doing it a different way, do it that way. But I thought it was very important to always have this ATR on your chart. Okay, guys, so that is about it right now for this indicator. I will tell you there's so much more to this and so many more strategies to use with this indicator that if I put them all in this video, the video would easily be over an hour long. So we're going to keep it short. I want to give you guys a quick introduction. If you are interested in using it as a beta tester right now, we are going to allow traders to have a 7-day exclusive experience with the indicator for only $7. So if you're interested in doing that, please go ahead and use that link down below. The indicator is going to be very inexpensive if you choose to continue using it. I chose to do this because I want to help as many traders as possible. I wish I had this when I got started. I used indicators when I first got started. They were way more expensive than this, and they did absolutely nothing for me. If you guys are interested in utilizing this to see if it will improve your trading, and maybe you can start putting some of that money that you're spending on prop firms and with brokers back into your pocket and reverse that flow that's going out, go ahead and use that link down below. You guys will not regret it. If you guys want to see us trade live and put this indicator to work, make sure to follow us, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join our Discord community, which will all be linked down below. Thank you guys. I love you, and I will see you next time.